they might play a little bit differently.
Yeah, well, we'll see how it goes. We are into Champion Select, ladies and gentlemen. Alistair, they waste no time on the side of QG, banning that one away. Hart not going to pick that up. Of course, a little bit of a ban away towards TCT there as well. Does love to get in amongst it, but not going to see the Qiao so far this game. And UP taking a little bit of time to work on their first ban. And see what does come through. Well, Doinby actually copping the Morgana ban there. Of course, you might think that a Morgana ban going towards that support role, but Doinby played a lot of that so far.
Yeah, you assume that it goes to the support role, and the Black Shield's going to have that support relevance. But Doinby, whenever he plays that Morgana, even into a losing matchup, makes it work so efficiently. And at the moment, it is essentially all support bans on the side of QG, and taking them all away from Hart.
Yeah, Hart, of course, is the big playmaker over the side of Unlimited Potential. He's the guy that manages to land all of the hooks, crucially starts a lot of these team fights. So that's two engaged supports that he's not going to be able to hop onto. But of course, Hart has a gigantic champion pool. This guy's been playing for a heck of a long time. And look, we'll see what he manages to pick up, as Maokai is going to be finally the one step away from the support. Although, if we're talking about OMG mid-season last split, it's still a support. V looking for his final ban for QG, and see whether they continue on the trend, or whether something like the Gragas, something like a Rek'Sai, one of these power picks in one of the other roles is going to go. Of course, Azir, Cassiopeia still both available, although both of these mid laners not necessarily known for that. Punished, more of a Kassadin. Doinby, more of that support role, loves the Lulu, loves the Morgana, and Kassadin, speaking of which, is going to be taken away from Punished here first up.
Yeah, Punished loves the assassin-style mid lane, as opposed to his partner, Zhao Yang, who's not playing today, so it is Punished. Smartly getting rid of that Kassadin, leaves open maybe just say the LeBlanc or Zed if he goes a bit crazy with possibilities, but a very smart ban because QG are first pick. And now they can prioritize perhaps the Sivir. Maybe they want to pick the Gragas away from Amy. We have seen Swift play that. But with one ban remaining, and it is going to be Kalista, which is no surprise, a 92% ban rate in the LPL so far.
Insane.
The Hecarim seems to be the first choice.
Yeah, Hecarim is going to be picked up here from V. V only played a few champions so far, very meta. Of course, hasn't decided to go with any Nard just yet, but it is the Hecarim going to be locked in first up, and with that Maokai banned away, it does make a lot of sense. Long can go back to the Nard if he feels like it. Maybe if he's feeling skittish, can hop back on the J4, go for the full DPS build, and just cataclysmically destroy the enemy team. But not sure whether that's going to be something that they're going to opt for very quickly. And V making sure he runs down the clock as fast as possible, but I believe it will be the Hecarim first pick. Oh, actually, Sivir changed over at the last minute, and we'll see whether UP react to that with maybe taking away the Hecarim.
They might want to get rid of that Hecarim. It was hovered for a very long time. But then again, it may just be a counter mind game. As no surprise that the Gragas is being hovered, but the Sivir being picked again. I like that QG did this, banning the Kassadin away, forcing the Kalista ban. Otherwise, they were going to first pick that Kalista. And now they get the Sivir instead. Is a very, very good banning phase here from Xiaogu.
Yeah, and Sivir already such a power pick here in the LPL. The win rate pretty insane, as long as actually going to insta-lock the Fizz once he's had a bit of time to figure it all out. And Amy on the signature Gragas, as we mentioned before. QG now with a couple of options, but of course probably not going to want to go towards a Hecarim. We've seen Fizz really deal with the Hecarim over and over again.
Yeah, it's a pretty hard lane to get through, especially once the challenging smite comes out, just because the Fizz has the outplay potential is just through the roof, and it's very easy to dodge Hecarim spells, but it seems like, and I still wouldn't be surprised if they lock it in, the confidence of actually getting V onto that Hecarim to at least, even if they want a lane swap, or at the very least just get through the lane safely, he seems to be very confident.
Yeah, it is going to be locked in here. Of course, V going to be taking that towards the top side of the map, but probably not early on. He might want to just jungle around, avoid that matchup for a bit, because Hecarim plus Sivir, fantastic synergy there, not to mention Janna as well. I mean, you can get a whole lot of extra movement speed. We do like talking about Hecarim, and the fact that he scales with that is one of our favorite topics. But UP now considering what they want to go with, already with pretty powerful lineup, and Punish considering the support champion. And now that the support pool is relatively shortened, we'll see whether Bard does get through.
Relatively shortened, as in completely almost eradicated,
obliterated
from the map. Besides the Nautilus, perhaps, which is
Nautilus still power pick.
An option, and Nautilus and Alistar are the two most popular at the moment. But seemingly, Bard comes first.
Yep, Bard ahead of the Nautilus. Hart not wanting to go with that underwater guy. Wants to be cosmically binding everyone around this map. Going on magical journeys with the Unlimited Potential lineup, and I'm excited about it.
It's pretty difficult to use the Bard into the Sivir, though. So it's We'll see how that actually pans out. But in the 2v2 matchup, having the Corki locked in already,
yeah,
it's not bad at all. Their base damages as a Corki and a Bard are very high, whereas the Sivir is almost exclusively the damage source in their bot lane.
Yeah, well, Swift actually opting away from the Sejuani. Wasn't banned, hasn't been picked away, but looks like the Rek'Sai going to be the option here for the Korean jungler from CJ Entis. He's going to be locking that one in. And no surprises, Doinby on another utility-based mid laner in that Lulu. Picks that one up for himself. So a bit of a raise the Sivir comp. We've seen this coming through a fair bit. But look, we'll see how it works out as we do have UP now locking down the final pick for Punished or potentially for Long, depending on where they want to put that Fizz. But I have a feeling that is going to be the Fizz top lane that we've seen become relatively popular recently.
Yeah, the Morgana ban seems to default Doinby to being the Lulu now. And from what we saw yesterday when he plays that Lulu, he likes to go Mejai's and Negatron cloaks to get through lane. But if they go for the Zed, perhaps he'll go for a Chain Vest first with that Mejai's instead.
Well, it was going to be a difficult matchup. Of course, Lulu deals with these assassins relatively easily. So instead, going to switch over to more of a poke-focused team comp here with the Varus coming in. Some shades of Godv there in the mid lane. Of course, Pawn also loving that one. Saw Varus banned in back-to-back games, WE versus LGD last night. So not going to be seeing him banned, and this time it's going to be Punished picking up that champion. We'll see what he can make happen. And so far, sort of the poke disengage comp coming through from UP looking fairly strong. Yeah,
they've got all of their poke there between the Corki and the Varus, and they've got an abundance of disengage with the Magical Journey even to an extent. They've got the Tempered Fate, and they've got the Gragas, and it's just even the fish can be used as a disengage tool. So they've got the options of letting the poke go down. If it goes awry, they can just leave the area, or they can go in, because the Gragas and the Fizz, who are also good at disengaging, and even the Bard, can turn it around straight away and just go all in.
Yeah, and you can also use that Tempered Fate, lock down towers, use that small amount of time to really get that dive happening. Works a little bit similarly to having an Alistar able to tank things up. But, of course, we haven't necessarily seen it used that way, and we'll see how this Bard is going to change how this team plays the game. And I'm just excited to see Varus. Of course, those Qs, disgusting amounts of damage, really, really filthy, and we'll see whether he's going to be able to get through this laning phase. Of course, Lulu can be a bit of a menace, but if he does, man, Punish is going to be getting some damage off.
Laning phase should be somewhat okay. It should be reasonable for the Varus to get through. The Lulu's base damage isn't really that high, but it's very hard to push a Lulu out of lane because of the shield amounts and the sustain that she has from being able to dodge all the arrows as well with the Whimsy.
Yeah.
And I guess the scarier point here to note is that you've now got the Hecarim who can pretty much run at the Varus and destroy the Varus.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of poke necessary and making sure that they don't get engaged on very, very quickly. Of course, the teleport home guard ganks could be a problem come the mid-game, but let's waste no more time. Let's hop onto the Rift. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the Rift with QG taking on UP for our first matchup of the day. First game here is just underway with some relatively defensive starts, sort of the 5-point defense system in operation for both teams. And we can see standard lanes look to be opted for, but only a minute into this one, 30 seconds before those minions spawn. They can head back to base if they want to, but it looks like they are committed.
Yeah, you can usually tell by around the 1 minute mark what the teams really do plan on doing, and you can tell by the way the wards go down in particular. If it's a neutral ward, they usually don't look for the lane swap unless it becomes a mind game of if you actually invade their jungle and they see you do it, they might expect your lane swap. Now they don't know what you're actually going to do. Both AD carries are actually recalling right now after having a small trade with each other. We'll see if one of them wants to swap or if they're just going to stay. And from the looks of it, Corki is going top.
Yeah, it looks like the lane swap is going to come through. Of course, we saw TNT actually backing as well, but he's going to head back towards the bottom side of the map, and it looks like the lane swap going to come down here for UP. So decent play, making sure that they do make sure they go up the lane with the minions as well, so may potentially be able to get there in time to form some sort of freeze, but it looks like the minions ahead going to get there a little bit too fast for that to go down. Swift starting here on the Grump. And no friends in order to get himself a little bit of a leash, but that's because Hecker are more than happy to take those Raptors. And the double jungle is happening very, very strongly here for UP.
Now the big difference between both teams right now at this stage is that Janna actually put a freeze into the bot lane through manipulation of the minions and froze it for a second so it will push. Gave Sivir enough time to do the Krugs. And Bard's just giving a nice little leash there to Swift. We'll see if he wants to stay around and actually be a pest.
Yeah, actually, Swift picking up both of the little Sentinels as well, though, so Hart unable to grab that extra experience, and this blue buff. Oh, actually, nice double stun here from Hart, who almost picked up the blue buff with the passive. I mean, that auto attack proc is something that you cannot take for granted. A lot of extra damage there into Bard's kit, but doesn't net himself anything. He's just a nuisance.
Yeah, it's outrageous late game once you start getting those chimes. It does around 320 bonus damage, so needs
Get a
to be
Lich Bane,
respected.
everyone.
Yeah, but this early in the game, it only does a little bit extra. It's not worth noting too much, but the threat of him stealing the buff was enough to at least annoy them and give the Corki free farming experience.
Well, Punish getting some extra damage down here in the mid lane. Does have to start trimming this wave just a little bit, but last hitting quite nicely, and as I say that, misses a cannon creep, a little bit unfortunate.
You jinxed him.
Yeah, I did. I'll stop watching Punished, I'm sorry. Sketch, though, is going to have this lane pushing towards the turret. Amy up in the top lane. About half health, just checking things out, making sure that there's no stray Rek'Sai's hanging around. But of course, Rek'Sai's heading back towards the top side of the map. 3 men strong.
They want to stop this.
Yeah, not looking for any fast push.
Now, it looks like 3 members going towards the top lane, including a Janna, who makes it infinitely harder to actually stop a siege. They are going to walk into the entire side of Unlimited Potential, but we'll see if they want to commit to a 3v4 or...
Oh, that ward doesn't actually spot QG out as the Pre-Seeker going to head towards the top lane. Nice double stun there again from Hart, and then the Fox respond to follow up. The QG are going to be able to clear out this wave and protect this and not get dived. So nicely played, defending the turret there, making sure that they pick up also the experience.
And we might see Fizz rotate straight to the bottom lane with a teleport now that he knows Sivir is alone, because Janna has been in the top lane. And what I really like now is the instant response from TCT is to come back and support his AD carry. The second he knew they weren't going to dive anymore, gets back there, it's going to be in time to help, and the level advantage that Sivir has, he'll be fine until Janna returns.
Yeah, Long actually picked up the red buff here as well. Yeah. Interesting. Don't know whether that's necessarily a mistake here from Amy, whose blue buff has run out, or whether there was something intentional there. Seastone Trident is going to go off, and I'm going to use that to clear out the minion wave. Talongale going to knock Amy up just a little bit, who heads down to about 400 health, but they're going to be fine. Just wanted to try and break a potential freeze, but haven't managed to. TNT still has that at a great position. Hard coming through with the magical journey. There's the cosmic binding, and Sketch getting a lot of damage off V. Won't be able to get back to this lane for quite some time, and does have the teleport, so he's going to have to use that summoner spell if he doesn't want to pick up this wave.
It's really clever, the pathing that you can do as a bard to get damage down onto someone unexpected. That's not a very common gank spot, to say the least. So picking up the stun there onto V was massive, and they put down so much punishment onto him that he does have to force the teleport usage. And he's going to get all the farm, but now that is a summoner spell matched from both top laners.
Yeah, so I guess Hart probably wanting to make sure that they didn't have that teleport advantage can be dangerous here in the early stages of the game, as Hail of Arrows from Punish just going to clear out this minion wave, do the best that he can. Of course, farm going advantage of Lulu just a little bit, but things very, very even so far in the mid lane, and V just trying to deal with this relatively annoying Corki.
Yeah, Corki level 5 already. Sketch, has a lot of experience backing him, and he can essentially sit here and win a 1v1 just because he is so far ahead in experience. And V can't actually ramp up the Q and actually put any damage down or try and make a trade without losing that trade convincingly. The fact that he never knows where Hart is, because he is going between mid and top and getting all of these chimes in between, very difficult to know on the side of QG if you were Hecarim when you can fight.
Yeah, speaking of which, though, Amy going to flash forward here, trying to get back underneath the turret, down to about 300 health there as the barrel does go off exhaust. TNT tries to pick up the kill. There's the last auto attack. First blood for the Sivir, but it's not over just yet as Lung looking to try and get back in. 200 health for TNT. Has to be a bit careful, but level 6 now for the Sivir, and on the hunt can be used if any unwieldy aggression does come out. Really nicely played dive there from QG on the bottom side, and they pick up the first blood, and more importantly, onto the Sivir.
Exceptional juggling of the turret as well. We saw the Sivir TNT starting tanking, immediately leaving after one turret shot and coming back in to get the last hitters. Hart is going to continue to be a pest here, and you can't leave your turret if you were V.
Yeah, has got a cheeky little ward there. So has replaced that one as well. Ooh, Pink Ward going to spot out that one over the wall, and V not going to be able to clear that out. As Hart now heading back to base. I just want to talk about this bottom lane here for Unlimited Potential just for one moment, because I really like it. mostly because Corki scales fantastically with levels. As an AD carry, I mean, you use a lot of spells. You want these levels in the Phosphorus Bomb. Of course, the ultimate as well, you're able to really level up that way. So Corki gets a lot of his power from the levels, and Bard never wants to be in the lane. So assuming you're able to get this lane swap, it works out fantastically for the UP lineup. And there's also the fact that Corki, with the Valkyrie, very safe in a lane on his own, even if it's a long one here in the top lane. So I like it. I like the adaptation, making sure that they pick up the Corki instead of sort of some other AD carry like Illusion or something like that.
It is a very good point. And then you've also got the Varus, who is the mid laner of this game that scales very well with levels also. Once those arrows start leveling up and doing more damage, you're getting the solo experience, so that'll happen sooner. And you're getting free farm at the moment, which is great for getting your first items. Both AD carries, essentially, the mid laner and Scatch is the Corki, are going to be ramping up in levels very quickly, and they'll hit their mid-game spikes around the same time, because essentially both getting solo XP while the Bard roams.
Yeah, and I like it. It's also, there's the fact that their poke is magic and physical damage. So Corki mostly magic damage poke with the rockets and the Phosphorus Bomb, whereas Punished going to have highly physical damage, so you can't itemize against the poke coming through from this UP lineup, despite the fact that theoretically they're both AD carries.
Yeah, Varus is always going to do an immense amount of physical damage. So your best bet here on the side of QG, if you're looking to win a mid-game fight, is to stack some early resistances, some magic resistance, which is most of their team, and instantly kill the Varus.
Well, speaking of instantly killing someone, the exhaust onto V, who does have the ultimate available, but not enough, as 4 members strong in the top lane from UP, able to answer the first blood from earlier and maybe even pick themselves up a turret.
Hart getting the stun is always enabling his team to do so much. The teleport comes through to secure it, not even using the fish there, so they should be able to get this turret if they want the turret. But the response came out immediately from QG. They're going for this dragon, and they're probably going to push bottom as well.
Yeah, so TNT pushing that one up. Swift is going to lock down the dragon. Easily done. Is a trade that you're going to make moving 4 people into the top lane, though, just generally what's going to happen. So QG actually managing to pick themselves up quite an advantageous position, because they'll get the turret. Top lane turret did not go down for UP, so TNT locking that turret down means that they now have a 1,000 gold advantage despite losing B in the top lane.
Well, what that says to me, though, is they're not opting to 4-man push the top turret. It says that Long wants a prolonged laning phase against his opponent here in Hecarim. And that says that, well, we know that it goes quite well for the Fizz, and we were a bit confused as to why they picked Hecarim into the Fizz. This is his chance now. This is Long's chance to really push an advantage with the kill he has.
Yeah.
And get control over that top lane. Denying the turret from going down is prolonging the early laning phase where he's going to be stuck in a 1v1. But the response from QG is instant, and I really do like it.
Yeah, V is going to be able to take down this pink ward here, and
Amy's low.
Yeah, interesting stuff. You did mention the response from QG, of course, moving the bottom lane towards the top side. They haven't been spotted heading into this lane as well, as it was in fact their pings. They're towards the top side, and Long has to be very careful, of course. Very slippery is the Fizz, but might get caught out. Not a lot of hard CC, so Playful Trickster is going to be there to help Long out, but if they dive this one, it might be tough.
TNT's level 8. Wow, they're going.
Yeah, there's the on the hunt. Twisted it. Oh my goodness, there's the ultimate as Long's getting taken down super low. Devastating charge, and TNT locks down the kill. Hard on a magical journey, but they'll both take it after him. Flashes over the wall. Actually, Hard going to be safe for now. The shield actually helping out, and QG, they wanted to pick up an extra one, but the flash going to help Hard get to safety, and now the turret possibly going to go down as well. BF Sword Avarice Blade for TNT. It's got enough damage to deal with this one, and the fast push is on here from QG.
And that was a great rotation there. They managed to secure what was a Fizz going to be aggressive. The forethought was there from them, and they utilized that perfectly, picking up a kill and a turret. No response available from the UP side. And they get their second turret of the game. You can see Punish is having a very good time in the mid lane, though. And it is still starting to ramp up. Level 9 is Scatch. If they want any advantage, it's going to come with the Trinity Force spikes and the fact that they're going to be roughly level 11 at that same time.
Yeah, and Scatch already with the 2 components of the Trinity Force that you really want. In fact, we do have a Void Rush here towards the bottom side of the map. Swift heading through, but he gets caught up by the ultimate from Punish. Gets barreled back into the wall as well. He's super low. Amy's just going to lock himself down the kill. And look, just didn't quite know where the members of UP were, and headed straight to his demise.
A very questionable decision right there, though. He went back in to get the Krugs after he'd taken damage from the Varus. you do have to wonder why it is that he wanted to go back in, and they pick up a free kill essentially for nothing, and Amy does get that one, so it didn't go into punish, which is big. Long gets the tower in top though at the same time, and it's suddenly they just get a really good trade out of nothing.
Yeah, and of course now the gold lead that was eking towards the 2,000 mark is relatively even here at only 700. UP really clawing themselves back in, and we knew that this game was going to be relatively close. Of course, QG and UP both similar power levels, both of them heading into the LPL with very decent performances against a lot of the top teams, and it was interesting to see which one would come out ahead, and so far things very, very close.
Yeah, it's looking quite standard, but again, we do have to reiterate the fact that they're going to spike at slightly different times. I do like that Doinbe's opted for that max CDR build to give him as much strength as early as possible. And you can see the fact that Hecarim is going for the Cinder Hulk first, and he's upgraded his armor boots with home guards, looking to have a teleport impact. So 2 examples of people who have started to accelerate their builds to match what is going to be the strength of the unlimited potential side, especially now they've got that Trinity Force finished. Varus has level 9 and his blue buff.
Yeah, and he's got a Manamune as well. Picked that one up, so he's going to be able to clear out these minion waves very quickly. And with that blue buff and the Manamune completed, you statically get it from auto attacks. You can throw out your spells with almost impunity here. Doinbe actually copying that one. Nice aim there from Punish.
It's always a big mind game when a Varus throws out the arrows where he's actually going to throw it. Very difficult to dodge.
Yeah, and of course, he could be going for the minion wave, could be going for the champion, could be going for one of the 3 champions that are in the mid lane. No one really knows. So Punish doing well here so far on the Varus, but see whether he can continue to move forward. And this UP lineup hasn't really hit their stride just yet. Do you think that maybe they need to get to a grouping phase and utilize their poke together?
Well, they've got 2 options. They're still waiting on Sork Shoes for Scats before the Rockets start to have a big impact in regards to poke and not just giving him machine proc to siege.
Yep.
So they are grouping now, and they're looking to get some siege damage down, but until they start to get a little bit more refined in their items, perhaps even the Brutalizer here for the Varus,
yep,
they don't want to do a whole lot of hard poking and forcing sieges until that stage. So they're very close to hitting the big spikes, but they're just not completely there yet.
Well, you can see these arrows already starting to hurt a fair bit. Punished. Still throwing them out. Yeah, the Glitter Lance is doing some work from Doinbe. Morellonomicon, Lucidity Boots. No slouch for the damage. You can see he just clears out waves so fast as well. The siege pretty difficult here for UP. This Cannon Creep was missed again. Oh no.
He's on struggle street.
He is.
They have a lot of shields though. There's an exceptional amount of anti-siege here when you think about it on the side of QG. So while they've got a lot of poke and they've got a lot of siege potential because of the poke, they've got Lulu shields, they've got Sivir spell shields, they've got Janna shields, and then they've got the Rek'Sai who can stop any flanks, and just a Hecarim who can teleport in.
Yeah, and QG also have a lot of ways to deal with poke as well. They've got, of course, Wild Growth if someone's going super low, but they've got shields for days from both Janna and, of course, Lulu, especially with these sort of cooldown reduction focused builds that are going to come down. It's going to mean that QG can weather the storm of the poke relatively easily. We'll see whether UP can get anything happening here as long as it's going to continue split pushing in the mid lane. Look, Punish needs to hit the Qs if they're going to get anything happening, but QG, it's going to be dangerous for them to start off this Dragon.
I like that they've just immediately started the Dragon though. They're not giving a chance for unlimited potential to put down the poke. They're forcing them to either all in or leave it.
Yeah, and it is going to be taken here from Swift as well. UP might want to just consider running out of this one as V's come through with the teleport. Punish going to get devastating charge, but there's the fish. The horse falls down immediately, and Swift, he's in a lot of trouble now right in the middle of the fight. The Sheen Proc's doing some work for Scatch as Amy almost going to die, but the flash over the wall unnecessary there. There's QG going to lose their mid laner as well. TNT now takes it. Oh my goodness, these arrows are disgusting. TCT completely out of mana, able to flash himself to safety, but beautiful use of all of the spells in the team fight, and UP juggling aggro, making it look easy.
And QG doing what they thought they had to do and exactly what we expected them to do, and that was go in before the poke could come down. But you have to keep in mind that while they're going in at the right time, the difference between the sides, and they got the poke down still, the Varus and the Corki just kited back. Amy completely locking Doinbe out of position, making him use the Wild Growth on himself, and their team fight was too scattered to actually be considered a team fight. And extremely well kited by Unlimited Potential to pull them back into their domain and actually fight on their terms. And they end up coming out quite ahead from that fight.
Yeah, and Lung as well, actually. I mean, sorry, Amy, utilizing the explosive cast fantastically in that one, making sure that, as you said, the fight was split up, but there was nothing that QG could do about it because, of course, when you're flying in every direction, it's pretty difficult to then regroup and effectively fight as sort of that clumped up team that you want to.
Yeah, and we discussed this in Champion Select, the possibilities of the UP team comp is that they can disengage quite freely. So it almost feels like both teams have essentially countered each other's comps, and it's going to come down to who pulls the trigger first and just who does it better when they actually pull the trigger. Because right there, we saw QG lineup actually want to get a fight. They just didn't do it right. And then it was very, very simple and easy for Unlimited Potential to just kite back and come out ahead.
And they did do that. Of course, Cinderhawk's now completed all round here for these junglers. We've got a whole lot of different variations of that one as well. No Poacher's Knife, unfortunately, but a couple of skirmishes. We've got the Trailblazer as well as the Chili Smite available from Swift. So TNT going to get slowed down there by Hart, but...
Oh, that hurt.
Ooh, Boomerang, yeah, doing some work. TNT feeding Punish some of his own medicine. Oh, reads the juke a little bit oddly there as TNT does actually use the Spell Shield.
Big item spikes here though for Punish. He does have the Lucidity Boots and the Brutalizer now available as well. So they are hitting that stage. Even the BS Sword prioritized for the Corki over Sork Shoes, looking to do as much damage as possible. And
yeah, flat damage as well.
Yeah, raw damage output. They're going to be in a good position if they want to, again, utilize what their team comp seems to be exceptional at and siege for a turret. But Corki, otherwise preoccupied with a Heck Room in the bot lane.
Yep, Narrow going to get fired out one more time, TNT. Yep, Spell Shield, nicely done, but I believe the Piercing Arrow probably going to have a shorter cooldown at this point than that Spell Shield. Yeah, V actually waiting for Sketch to turn up here on the bottom side. We'll have to use that Devastating Charge well, as Sketch does have the Valkyrie available. Gets knocked back, and... Oh, actually, was that? No, Valkyrie.
Sorry,
just held on just a little bit, but Fizz did decide to use that teleport, cancelled it, but is still going to be on cooldown for the next little while. Now 20 minutes into the game, Baron is going to be available, but neither of these teams really looking for that one just yet. Not an accelerated game. At least not that accelerated, as long as he's going to take himself down. A Gromp going to be hanging out here on the top lane. Long probably not going to be too worried. Frozen Heart almost completed for the Fizz. Going to be with that arm guard now as well as the Alacrity enchant on the boots, making sure that he's as zippy as possible on this Lulu. I thought that he probably wouldn't need as much help, but picking that one up anyway.
Slightly different build path here though for the Lulu compared to what he went last time, which was a very aggressive, confident build. And because their start has not been as commanding as what it was yesterday, opting for the Seeker's arm guard, working towards that Zonia's as a second big item. And you said the Alacrity as well, respecting what is the Unlimited Potential side and looking to get his juke boots on quite seriously and quite literally with the Alacrity to dodge as many spells as possible.
Yeah, Swift getting a lot of value out of that pink ward there as well, clearing out a couple of the vision wards available from QG. Frozen Heart now completed for Long, looking for a Spectre's Cowl possibly as his next option. Nice stun there from Heart, locking the horse against the wall. QG now on the defense trying to save this turret, but so far not a whole lot of action. Of course, these teams just defending against one another over and over again.
The UP side advancing slowly but surely towards their turrets. You can see Punish doing exactly what his name says and trying his best to punish people with that Varus. Starting to ramp up big with items, working towards that last Whisper, and almost there. Slowly but surely, they're going to get this turret lower and lower until the Xiaogu's side can pull the trigger. Yeah,
and getting damage onto Doinby as well, so incredibly smart. That's a whole lot of their wave clear, of course. TNT, the other option on that front, but doesn't have the utility available like Lulu does with that wild growth underneath the turrets, stopping any potential dives potentially in their tracks. Punish now trying to shove this wave up, and with the rockets, with the arrows, they are going to be able to take this turret here, but is a fight going to break out? Can QG make anything happen? No, they can't. Horse stays on the bottom side of the map. And look, UP just utilizing their comp, taking the objective.
Yeah, it was almost too casual the way they just casually walk in and take the turret. But after all of the poke that came down prior, the fact they forced Lulu back is very easy for them to walk up to the turret, just do all the damage they can. They've got 2 ranged carries to secure that objective. And the threat of the Bard engage, the Gragas engage, and the Fizzfish.
Oh, here's the engage though. Speaking of which, Cosmic Binding landing perfectly. There's the Earth, but it doesn't really get anything as Sketch flashes over the wall. V's in the fight now and cleans up the Corki. Heart trying to get something down. There's the double Tempered Fate, but Punish very, very low. Does get an arrow back onto Swift, but QG looking to try and complete this one as they take down the turret. It's only 1 kill, but it could mean the Dragon here for QG.
And just like that, it turns completely upside down. And this is something that is a very difficult thing. Their comps need to be executed with perfection because they're not just straightforward champions. You don't have the Sejuani engage, you've got the Gragas barrel. And that Gragas barrel made the Fish ult miss. The Bard ult was down at the same time as the chains from the Varus. Everything was not coordinated between the unlimited potential side. And you just saw the teleport come in from QG. Hecarim just ran over them, they pick up a free kill, they get their 3rd dragon, they match the turret that they spent 2 minutes trying to get prior, and the gold is basically back to a lot closer to even.
Yeah, and Punish now with the last Whisper. Bloodthirst now completed for Sketch, so some item timings to come through for UP, but that was a huge teamfight victory there for QG. And the Dragon, that's a huge deal. Oh, that's the Chains of Corruption on a TCT, though. Definitely a dead Janna. And you mentioned the fact that he didn't mind dying. Probably going to be a little bit upset about that one because, of course, not picking anything up for it. Varus going to pick up the blue buff here. Nice steal over there, and Punish loves having as much mana as he possibly can. Nice pink ward there into this river just to make sure that they claim some vision. And you can see that is a thing that UP have really taken control of and something that Heart most definitely is very, very powerful in. Oh, nice look away kill of that skull
Casual
crab.
walk away.
But yeah, what I was talking about is all of the vision that's available, especially towards the top side of the map.
Yeah, and you can see how that vision control actually results in a kill onto the Janna there for Punished. And they get the blue buff as well. They've got the timings of where everything is on the map, and you can see it already on the mini-map. The amount of red wards near the Baron area. There's no dragon to contest. There's no reason to be on that side of the map. So appropriate ward control and vision control.
Yeah.
Whereas the defensive wards that came out here from TCT put down as many as he could before getting caught out of position because, again, the ward control is just so in favor of unlimited potential.
Yeah, TNT, though, picks up a juicy wave of minions there on the bottom side of the map before it even gets to the turret. Amy looking to pick up the red buff, but Amy locks it down. TCT wants some revenge now, but it's 5 members strong. Swift in the backline. There's the onslaught of Shadows, and immediately Punish gets destroyed. Tempered Fate trying to save the team as QG looking to try and mop this one up. Long, pretty tanky, but trying to turn this one around onto TNT that, oh my goodness, this is such a tanky Fizz. But there's the polymorph. That's going to lock down the kill. V just trying to helicopter his way around. Heart goes for the slow, gets that one, but doesn't find the stun as the Magical Journey might actually give the horse a way in, but not going to see it just yet. And V continues.
Good luck, V.
Well, he does have the devastating charge. There's the shield as well. Oh, that stun.
Again, good luck, V.
Yep, good point.
The fight there, though, was really, really well initiated by Swift and V. The knock-up going straight onto Punish, followed by the onslaught of Shadows, knocking down the Varus immediately in that fight. Corki was the only poke left available then, and all it took was a Lulu and a Janna to sit on TNT until Fizz eventually went down. You could say that the Sivir is about as tanky as Fizz, given the support that she's getting, and just does a bit more damage.
Yeah, actually, look, UP trying to poke them off this Baron, but it's down to about 2,000 health. There's the piercing arrow. Chains of Corruption come in, but they lock down the Baron. QG, they've got that one now, but can UP get anything started? Heart very, very low as Swift looking to get the knockups. That's a double, but Punish going to survive this one. There's the arrow, follows him through the ultimate, and QG now need to try and escape, preserve these Baron buffs that they've picked up for themselves, but they lose 2 members. Is that worth the Baron?
It's worth the Baron because of the gold advantage and the fact that 3 people still get away with the Baron buff. If they get this top turret, it becomes slightly less worth, but then in saying that, they still manage to pick up a winning team fight prior. They do get the Baron, and they've still got the Sivir, who's going to be massive and maybe even stop this from going down.
Well, they lose the inner turret in the mid lane as TNT trying to get some damage off onto Long. Oh, Howling Gale going to lock him up. Tempered Fate, Doinby not going anywhere there, and The disengage from that ultimate demonstrated quite nicely there from Heart, and they are going to escape with their lives, but UP almost net themselves a couple of turrets, and Swift just going to tunnel his way away from them. Fizz understands that he's pretty tanky.
He just wanted to get out of the base quicker, I'm pretty sure. Just casually going in there with his ultimate.
Gromp is the priority here,
Yeah,
Rusty.
exactly. Teleport towards the Gromp so you can secure that one away from the Fizz. But again, they've got the team fight that they wanted earlier, but then you have to question why QG decided to fight after already securing the Baron. You could tell how aggressive they went in. Swift using that tunnel and instantly dying, followed by V, who was in their faces, saved his ultimate, and still died while using it. So maybe they could have backed out sooner and then not have lost everything that they just did. But they're still in a comfortable position because they've got the Baron buff available to push.
Yeah, Long actually getting aggressed on here. Nice use of the playful Trickster. And V not going to find the ultimate Fear, so half health on the Fizz in trade for the ultimate here of V. So nicely played there from the UP lineup. Sketch now heading towards the bottom side of the map, just playing defense on these Baron minions, but looks like QG can't really get anything to a position to take control. Of course, UP with a lot of wave clear between the Corki and the Varus. And in fact, Punished able to move around the map. You saw him push up the mid lane. They are going to possibly be able to steal away. Oh, the arrow of destiny shall pierce the heavens and the blue buffs. Punished is able to lock that one down.
And the explosive cast from Hell going to miss everybody. And straight after getting
a celebration.
Yeah,
you know, alcohol to everyone.
Yeah. Not exactly, but unfortunately that missing afterwards kind of prevented any chance of catching someone after getting the blue buff. But again, they do get the blue buff after all of that nonsense. And I just want to touch on, I thought that Sivir was going for a Hex Drinker at first because of the items, but I was going to say she needed that last Whisper. Finally picking that one up because all of the kills at the moment are on the Sivir's back, and the rest of the team comp is basically designed at this stage to support TNT.
Yeah, it's the Raise the Sivir comp definitely coming through here for the QG lineup. They do have the Eye of the Storm shield for extra AD. They've got the Whimsy for the movement speed for the shields. Wild growth if anything is going to go wrong, and then this beefy front line. But QG now looking to take down their fourth dragon of the game. It has reset as UP trying to poke this one out.
Do it.
V was actually looking for a teleport flank in the backside, but he's already teleported in. Oh, that's the steal away for Sketch, of all people. The ultimate does go wide from Punish. The 3-man knock-up, 4-man knock-up afterwards as the ult comes through from Doimby. UP still able to get something done, and QG frontline just, oh my goodness, locked up by the Tempered Fate. Magical journeys all round as UP gonna body slam themselves out of this one. Swift trying to get in there. Sketch, he's gonna die, but they trade it for TNT with a beautiful shield, arrow, sorry. And QG still not able to get anything done, and this rain of arrows coming through from Punished is massive.
How Punished lived there is just unbelievable. Heart with the Tempered
I'm calling
Fate.
it Heart, just Heart.
He actually just destroyed them all, and they're going to try and at least get a kill here, but...
Yep, Amy's still pretty tanky though, as the Monsoon is going to at least help TCT. Oh, there's the Urchin Strike, but don't get baited by the Janna, as Doimby doesn't have a lot of mana left. Long, oh my goodness, that ultimate is on such a low cooldown. Punished, able to lock down the kill with the Chains of Corruption and of course the arrow there. So the horse is dead. Can they get anything from it? Magical Journey. Heart's going to make his way in.
Just to place the
ward
down.
Champion,
It's
man.
awesome. That was a really prolonged fight, to say the least. And Varus being able to have 2 ultimates in that fight says a lot about how he is going right now with his build. He's come a long way, managing to still be relevant because of Heart's phenomenal supporting right now with the ultimate.
Oh, yeah.
Gets a kill onto the Sivir, which was going to be a very close 1v1 with Scat. Instead, going in favor of Unlimited Potential. Fizz comes in, pushes them away from the turret again. And all of this is just working really, really well into favor of Unlimited Potential because their disengage, their kite, and their poke is massive.
And then, of course, they've got a lot of auto attack damage afterwards as well. So if they win a team fight, they can take down turrets very, very quickly. You saw Sketch and Punish deal with the mid lane in a turret very, very easily after that Baron went down in favor of QG. And now that they've stopped this dragon bleeding with that steal away that Sketch managed to get through, it's going to be a lot harder for QG because that timer has been extended for that 5th dragon. And that's assuming they're able to even get the next one.
Yeah, it's absolutely correct. If they wanted to go for that 5th dragon objective, it's going to be a lot longer for them to do so. And you said before they've got a lot of siege, and that's definitely correct because they've got a Ghost Blade finished here for the Varus and the Sheen procs from the Corki. So if they get onto a turret, their siege is amazing. They've got a very well-rounded team in being offensive, but then they've also got the capabilities of being very defensive. We saw what the Bard's capable of in that regard. And just like pushing back and poking. But if QG can get onto them, if that initiation that we saw before from Swift and Lulu has the Hecarim at the same time, they could go down straight away.
Oh, there's the Tempered Fate. Locks down TNT there for a little bit as the Spell Shield is going to be there. The Chains of Corruption actually locking a few members down, but V actually delivering a fish towards the QG lineup. Boomerang over the team now. The Swift is going to get barreled, but they are going to be able to escape this one for now. Actually might be able to take themselves down a Scuttle Crab on the way through as QG do escape that fight, but man, it was close. UP almost got there.
And I guess, again, it's something that is really difficult for the Unlimited Potential side that doesn't involve fighting for a turret or sieging, is just hard engaging. The Bard Tempered Fate only hitting TNT, and he just casually walked away because V tanked most of the damage. He ulted away and just kind of trotted on with the rest of his team. Their disengage is great also on the side of Xiaogu, but they've also got the hard engage factor, so it comes down to if Unlimited Potential can put down the poke for a focal point, whether it's the Baron or whether it's a turret. But if they're just engaging in the jungle, it's going to be very hard for them to pick up kills unless that Chain of Corruption is everyone. Yeah,
and especially if QG don't necessarily need to hang around where they are. Of course, they have been picking up the fights that they've enjoyed around objectives that QG want to be fighting for, want to be taking. And it's often been when QG have actually taken a fair bit of damage from the Dragon as well.
Yeah.
So Sketch now with the last Whisper, 3 items on this Corki. A massive power spike here for this champion. And look, we'll see whether he can weave the auto attacks between everything and get some damage down in these fights. But at the moment, it seems to be, let's just rock it all day, every day.
Pretty much what he's going to consistently do from now until the end of time with the Varus. And just be as annoying as possible, get down as much damage as possible before actually going for anything. And the control, the vision control in particular, has been so very back and forth depending on who won the last fights that no one has been solely contributing to the vision. They've all got so many wards down at all stages, but you win a fight, you've got control of the next area. And the only time someone's been caught from that has been Janna. They haven't capitalized on vision advantages at all this game. They're just looking for objectives.
Yeah, and Hart now focusing all of his vision control on the top side of the map, has a little bit of defensive vision around the blue buff that's remaining from that last fight, as Hart is going to just continue to pick up some chimes here. Amy going to clear out some vision as well. So UP now with the Baron control. Teleport's available almost for long, but V's is up. He is hanging around in that bottom lane. Preyseeking going to find Amy as Tremor Sense fantastic at this point in the game when they don't have the vision around the Baron.
Yeah, and speaking of vision, as we were just discussing who has control of it, look at all the pinks from the Unlimited Potential side around the Baron area.
My goodness,
the entirety of that. That is 4. It's all in favor of them, and you can see QG coming in to control it now and maybe get it back in their favor. But this is the opportunity for Unlimited Potential to catch someone with all of their vision control.
Yeah, Lonk also has his Spirit Visage completed, so 30% CDR with his 2 most expensive items, the Cinder Hulk there as well, scaling up the added health that you are going to grab from that Phage and Spirit Visage, and now looking towards the Trinity Force, so he's going to be doing the relevant damage. Looks like V almost there with his. We'll see who's going to be able to carry this one through in the later stages of the game. Still 40 CS ahead on this Fizz. A little bit further as far as getting these items down, and Hart, Magical Journey, going to deliver Sketch towards the base.
Just because they can, really.
I like it.
You don't need a purpose to go on a Magical Journey.
No, you certainly don't. Oh, V wants to be able to smite this one away, but doesn't get it. One's going to lock that down, and the Dragon has respawned. QG, are they going to be able to get towards their 4th? Prevent some extra tower damage on the side of UP. Hart's just back. But of course, the QG lineup, they just don't have the vision around this area.
No, it's again, we have touched on vision control a bit, and it seems to be in favor of Unlimited Potential just because QG is starting to respect their capabilities to poke and fight. They're looking to push lanes out and control the lanes, but it's fairly standard. But Fizz able to completely control V, so wherever those two are, the waves are always in favor of Unlimited Potential. Fizz will always get there first without the teleport. But from the looks of Hecarim recalling right now, I would wager he wants to engage very soon with a teleport.
Yeah, really wants that home guard teleport. Of course, Punish getting a lot of damage down, but UP have started off the Dragon, the decisive move. Punish still trying to stand back, get the arrows in, but the teleport very far into the UP jungle as they do lock down the Dragon, smited away by the Fizz. Immediate exhaust onto V now, as well as the ultimate is going to be necessary from Punish. Way at the back of the fight though, nice positioning. Monsoon for TCT, there's the wild growth as well. Maybe a little bit soon as Lung trying to get back in. Swift's going to die. Magical journey for Hard as well as he's still holding on to that ultimate. Actually, no, it is down as Punish. He's going to fall. Amy doing some work. TNT with a whole lot of extra damage. There's the shield. TCT going to help block that one down. Triple kill for the Lulu, and eventually it's the ace for QG.
They managed to pick up an ace around that Dragon fight. Dragon going to Unlimited Potential, but a massive win there for QG. Sivir could just get an inhibitor. They're going to opt for the Baron instead beforehand, and the flank from V was massive. It pulled a lot of focus onto him because he came from the side and forced them to almost bottleneck around the back of the Dragon pit. And that worked out so well for TCT and Doing B, who can instantly take down Amy and Hart, force them into bad positions. And from there, it was just utilizing that they have 2 shields and they can protect that Sivir, who is massive right now. And Lulu picked up a triple even.
Yeah, and actually TCT with a huge Monsoon in that fight as well, as we see the fight go off. And super speed, nonetheless.
And now slow motion watching it happen as you can see how V forces them away. The Bard Tempered Fate not hitting enough people. And they're split, but they're also split with no health in a very awkward position. So Swift can flash onto them and at least keep them there, while the rest of the damage-dealing members of QG can just sit at the back and do so much work until TNT decides it's time to man up and runs at them with his Doing B mid lane partner. And almost going down, but then the shields, of course, coming through, picking up the ace and a triple kill for a Lulu.
Yeah, Lung now trying to take down this blue buff. UP fighting for it against Swift and V, but very tanky of these members of the QG lineup. And actually on the hunt was popped there, so QG want to take down this turret. They've got the Baron, they've got Baroned up minions. That wastes no time going down. There's the use of Mercurial Scimitar, but Punish not going to be able to block everything there as Swift wants to knock up the fish just to deter them from getting in there as Punish tries to throw out the ultimate but doesn't find the mark. QG now heading towards this inhibitor turret. The Boomerang's doing a whole lot of work. V tanking the turret for as long as he feels like here on the horse. He's so powerful. There just launches himself into the turret. You can see this inhibitor not long for the world, and UP, they're going to have to try and defend somehow, but it just looks like they don't have enough in their playbook to deal with this.
They had absolutely nothing available. Every single ultimate had been used except for Corki, who can't use it in a defensive manner to disengage. It wasn't used effectively, so they had to use multiple. And in which case, with no ultimates available, the Baron minions helping the side of QG to siege, they get a free inhibitor. And now they can almost continue to push or control the waves, recall, get all of their items, and just reassess where to go now. There's no Baron, no Dragon, the bottom inhibitor's gone, so you look to siege both mid and top, rotate quickly between, and pick up whatever you can at all times.
And it just seems like V has outscaled the team fighting potential of UP. He's no longer able to be dealt with easily in one rotation of spells as he heads into a team fight. I mean, he gets exhausted almost every single time, but still either manages to get away and re-engage or get enough damage down in these fights to be a massive problem. And Swift, he's going to tunnel through. They're going to take another inner turret. And it looks like UP, they just don't quite know what to do.
That's definitely one of the bigger problems that they're facing right now, is V is so big that he doesn't take damage, and it's going to take upwards of 2 members to even consider chunking him out. All of their disengage being used on just one member allows the damage dealers of QG to actually do their job and put all of the damage down into whoever they would like. V has, in a way, outscaled Long in terms of team fighting capabilities. Unless that fish goes onto a priority target, he can take down, say, the Sivir.
Yeah, Doinby still taking some poke here as Baron still up just for a little bit. Actually, no, it has worn off. As Long looking to try and get in there. Tempest Fate not going to find anyone. A few minions there are going to go down, but on the hunt has been popped from TNT. Hart looking for something. Actually stuns up V. There's the Chains of Corruption as well as TCT going to get locked through. Nice wild growth to save V's life, who delivers a fish to his team. And now QG just looking to disengage from this one. They don't have... They did manage to get the turret, I believe. So, actually, no. Actually, they didn't get any damage over that turret.
They got
complete failure.
Absolutely nothing for that. But they did get away with their lives. And that's true. A win in and of itself, given that they got engaged on very hard. Again, V not actually dying because of the team that he has surrounding him. Lulu Hecarim in the late game stages is unbelievably strong, especially if they can coordinate a home guard gank and you have the Whimsy available. But again, using the Wild Growth, having the Janna shields and even the Monsoon if necessary wasn't even used there, available to disengage, makes it so hard for this unlimited potential lineup to capitalize on what was a good engage for them. And again, a very good spell shield though from the Sivir to stop Bard's ultimate.
Yeah, true. And TNT actually now with a Zeke's Herald available over the side of TCT to really help him out with some even more damage and lifesteal. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Now with the Banshee's Vow completed, so a 6-item Sivir. Sort of 4 items that you'd want on that carry. So Infinity Edge, Bloodthirster, Last Whisper, and the Static Shiv. And UP, you're going to have to deal with a whole lot of damage availability for this AD carry for the QG lineup.
You have to question how, if you were unlimited potential, you're going to play out this next team fight. You need to hit the priority target of TNT, but again, the shields that come down from this Xiaogu lineup really deny any initiation onto one specific target. They need to utilize the Gragas like they did in the successful team fights, and they're going to go for the mid inhibitor while they go for this Dragon.
Yeah, Dragon going to go down. Backs aren't going to be in time here as the mid lane inhibitor turret going to fall. QG will take this trade any day of the week. 2 turrets are now dead as Lung does make it in just in time to watch the inhibitor die. The top lane's being pushed out, and now QG is going to be able to push with impunity. I mean, they may not necessarily have the highest range to try and auto-attack this turret down, but with super minions, Hard actually taking a bit of damage there as, oh, really nice Chains of Corruption. Going to lock down a few members. Doimby actually in a lot of trouble now as Sketch able to get some damage off. Oh, Doimby's going to die. That's going to be punished. Picking up that kill. Swift now finds himself in an uncomfortable position, knocks up Amy, gets body slammed as well, slowed down by the barrels, and no Monsoons to be found. There's a Tempered Fate. Delivers themselves a Janna. As Long just going to pop in there, slow him down, and it's going to be Sketch picking up the kill. 3 dead for nothing. UP look to try and find something to grab after this, but it seems to be just damage control is available because they've got 2 inhibitors down, not a whole lot of aggressive moves you can make.
The kills themselves were almost just a small bit of prevention to stop what was going to be a convincing 3rd inhibitor and game closeout as Heart's sitting on a ward.
Yeah, okay.
Don't know what his plan was there, but they just casually picked up the trade.
Baited by the chimes, man.
Always.
Baited by the chimes.
Damn chimes. How dare they?
I was just after me, lucky chimes.
Spawning in the worst positions, as per usual. But again, the bottom inhibitor is now up, so unfortunately they went for the Dragon. They got that bad trade for the middle inhibitor for just the 3rd Dragon. So there's still one down. The bottom inhibitor is bare, but we've seen the makings of what can be a great fight. Lulu not even getting to use Wild Growth before dying there.
Yeah,
knocked around like a complete ragdoll and just removed from the map.
Sketch now has a Blade of the Ruined King as well, and I don't generally like that on Corki, but the fact that he has to deal with a Hecarim, like creating as much distance between him and the horse is something he really wants to do. Of course, Swift there as well, really getting in his face as QG. They have started off this Baron, but they don't necessarily have a whole lot of damage here just yet. TNT not fighting it as, oh, there's the Chilling Smite on to punish. Swift going aggressive. There's the Wild Growth as well as Doimby. He's going to immediately blow the Zhonya's. Long's going to lock down the kill, but they take down both of the damage dealers on the side of UP, and now they just need to DPS through all of these members of the lineup.
Wow.
What? How did Long survive that? The barrel, the boomerang not even going to find him. The disengage from Hart may have just saved the game.
That was awesome. He used his troll pole as the Bard ultimate came down, so hit everyone except him, and he just casually strolled out. They're still in a very rough position here. At the very least, the bottom inhibitor will go down. That was a big stun too.
Longest cosmic binding of all time as Swift is going to tank up these turrets just for a little bit. The chimes from Hart now trying to get himself a little bit of extra damage with those auto attacks. Amy very tanky and Lung as well, but the Nexus turrets are still falling down. Super Creeps now in the base doing a bunch of work. UP still waiting 24 seconds for their damage dealers and just trying to damage control. Make sure that they can either get rid of the creep waves or the members of QG. As TCT, he's going to get taken down, but the last Nexus turret falls. QG picking up the kills. The Nexus now getting the focus as V heads back into this fight.
Oh my God.
My goodness, Sivir falls down. So much of the damage done, and what? How is Lung doing this? This guy's Fizz is something to behold.
He just didn't want to die ever in the last two fights. Barely surviving and managing to take out TNT in a 1-on-3 situation. That is unbelievable. This Fizz is disgusting right now.
Yeah, and they saved their bottom inhibitor as well. So UP able to stop these super creeps from heading towards the base, but now without any Nexus turrets, it's going to be very, very difficult to hold on to this game. And it almost means the UP need an ace and then an immediate finish of this game if they're going to win.
Yeah, it was a little bit greedy there from TNT, trying to end the game and not actually focusing Long for enough of that fight. But then again, the rest of his team were going on Long instead of ending the game. So it was a questionable teamwork decision there. And in the end, they managed to survive with one inhibitor, as you mentioned, because they went all in on trying to end the game. But questionable teamwork, to say the least, right there, and a small error.
Yeah, maybe just some over-aggression, wanting to pad the stats, as TNT probably could have three-shot the Nexus. So a little bit unfortunate. Punished and Lung now on the Baron. Have been pinged out here as V is hanging around. But of course, Lung very, very tanky. He's happy just to start off this Baron. And UP trying to engage this fight as far away from their Nexus as they can.
Those Xiaogu are the team with the advantage right now. 100% can force the engages. They've got V, who is not going to take any damage, working on what looks like a Thorn Mail after already having the Frozen Heart.
That's a 6-item Fizz, though.
That is a 6-item Fizz, has the Thorn Mail already, so significantly further ahead. Has 4 kills and about 40 CS. Unbelievable, this Fizz. Keeping them in the game, essentially. But speaking of...
Yeah, they're engaging on him as Swift is going to get fished up. They're actually taking a lot of damage, but V right into the backline, hard in some trouble as the exhaust down onto the Varus in the backline. But we're not going to be watching that as UP members are just disintegrating in the middle of this team fight. Look at the shields onto Doinby as it's just Xiaogu destroying this fight. Inhibitors are going to fall now. It's going to be the end of the game, but UP, they tried to hold on valiantly, and that is one of the most impressive Long performances that I've seen so far in the LPL. Definite hats off to that Fizz, but what a game from QG. Really handling the poke and coming through with the victory.
Yeah, that Fizz is a force to behold, and they had a valiant